Welcome students. In last lectures of rotational dynamics, we learn about the moment of inertia, its definition for single particles, for collection of particles, and for rigid body, and for rigid body. Also, I can explain on which factors the moment of inertia is depends. That factors are mass, shape, and size. Second factor is distribution of the mass about the axis of rotation, and third point is position and orientation of axis of rotation. On these three factors, the moment of inertia will be depends. I can explain it in earlier lecture. Now today I am going to explain the kinetic energy of rotating body. The derivation of kinetic energy of rotating body. As the body is in rotational motions, at that time kinetic energy possessed by that body is called the rotational kinetic energy. The derivations can be remembered in three parts. Can be remembered by using the three parts. One part is figures and its explanations, figure and its explanations. Second part is find out the kinetic energy of single particles and similarly find out the kinetic energy of other particles. Now, third part is to find the kinetic energy of rotating body. These are the three parts in which I divides the expression for the kinetic energy. This is the figure. In these figures, the body is consist of particles m1, m2, dash, mn. This is the axis of rotation, and the angular velocity is omega. This is the angular velocity. Now, its explanations of this figure is here. Consider a rigid body of any shape, be rotated about an axis passing through it with uniform angular velocity omega. With uniform angular velocity omega. This is first point of explanation. Second point, assume that this body consists by n particles of masses m1, m2, m3, dash, mn situated at distances r1, r2, r3, dash, rn respectively from this axis of rotation. From this axis of rotation. As the body rotates, all the particles except the particles on this axis performs uniform circular motions with the same angular velocity omega, but different linear velocities. Let v1 be the velocity of the first particles, v2 be the velocity of second particles, v3 be the velocity of third particles, dash so on, vn be the velocity of nth particles, linear velocity of nth particles of respective particles. Now we consider the first particles of mass m1. Its linear velocity. In circular motion, we study the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity is v is equal to r into omega. By using these relations, the velocity of the first particle is v1 is equal to r1 into omega. Therefore, its translational kinetic energy of the first particle is kinetic energy of first particles is equal to half into m1 v1 square, that is equal to half into m1 into r1 square into omega square by substituting the value of v1 as r1 omega in this equation. This is the kinetic energy of the first particle. Similarly, for other particles, their respective translational kinetic energies are kinetic energy of the second particles. Kinetic energy of second particles is equal to half m2 into r2 square into omega square. Kinetic energy of third particles is equal to half m3 into r3 square into omega square. So on, the kinetic energy of nth particles is equal to half mn into rn square into omega square. These are the kinetic energies of all the particles. Now, here to find the kinetic energy of the rotating body, not to find out the translational kinetic energy of the body. Now, the kinetic energy of the rotating body about the given axis of rotation, at that time all the body performs circular motions. Therefore, the rotational kinetic energy of the body is equal to the sum of translational kinetic energy of all the particles. Sum of translational kinetic energy of all the particles. Therefore, rotational kinetic energy is equal to kinetic energy of the first particles plus kinetic energy of second particles plus on plus kinetic energy of last particles, that is nth particles. Substitute that's expressions of the kinetic energy in these equations. We get rotational kinetic energy is equal to half m1 r1 square omega square plus half m2 into r2 square into omega square plus that dash plus half into mn into rn square into omega square. Now half and omega square are common from each terms. We get rotational kinetic energy of the given body about the given axis of rotation is equal to half into bracket m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square plus that dash plus mn rn square into omega square, outside bracket omega square. But according to the definition, for the collection of point masses, the moment of inertia I is m1 into r1 square plus m2 into r2 square plus m2 into r2 square plus that dash plus mn into rn square. That means this bracket indicates the moment of inertia of the given body about the given axis of rotation. Therefore, replace this bracket as I. Therefore, the rotational kinetic energy of the body is equal to half into I into omega square. This is the expression for the rotational kinetic energy. That is the kinetic energy of this rotating body about this given axis of rotation. Here, I is the moment of inertia, omega is the angular velocity, In translational kinetic energy, in translational motion, the kinetic energy is equal to half mass into square of linear velocity. Here, in rotational motion, the kinetic energy is equal to half I into omega square. We study the analogous between angular velocity and linear velocity. Also, we study the analogous between the moment of inertia I and mass m. Therefore, rotational kinetic energy is analogous with translational kinetic energy. That is, I is replaced as m and omega is replaced by v in these equations. At that time, rotational kinetic energy gives the translational kinetic energy. Thus, rotational kinetic energy is analogous with the translational kinetic energy. This is the expression for rotational kinetic energy. Also, from these equations, we can give the explanations about the analogous of I and M. Rotational kinetic energy and translational kinetic energy are analogous. Omega is the angular velocity which is analogous with the linear velocity v. Therefore, I is analogous with the mass. From this equation also we can explain the analogy of rotational motion. रोटेशनल मोशनचं एनालॉगी आपण त्या ठिकाणी एक्सप्लेन करू शकतो मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया याच्यावर या इक्वेशन्स. ओके. नाउ नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स इज moment of inertia of uniform ring. Uniform ring. Moment of inertia of the different bodies. Here we learn here. To be learned here. Ring. Ring is the two-dimensional object. Ring is the two-dimensional object which have negligible thickness. This thickness is very small. Thickness of the ring is very small. Very small. Thickness is very small. Such a body whose mass is uniformly distributed along its circumference. Such a body is called the ring. Such a body is called the ring. Mass cannot be distributed from the center. Its mass is distributed only on the circumference. Hence, it is called the ring. Hence, it is called the ring. If we assume that capital M is the mass of the ring and capital R is the radius of the ring, and the ring is rotates about its own axis, at that time the entire mass is practically at equal distance from the center or from the axis of rotation, that is equal to R. Therefore, its moment of inertia, the moment of inertia of this ring about this axis, about its own axis, is equal to mr square. This equation must be remembered to you. These equations will be occurs that cannot be in our syllabus. Only remember this formula. The moment of inertia of the ring is equal to m into r square, where m is the mass of the ring and r is the radius of the ring. Now, from these equations, we can find out the equations or expression for moment of inertia of thin uniform disk. Like ring, disk is also two-dimensional object, whose mass is uniformly distributed from the center to the circumference. Uniformly distributed from the center. Hence, this is called the disk. Disk has negligible thickness like the ring. That means number of concentric rings which have the radius from 0 to capital R. Such a type of rings are placed at that time that rings forms the disk. That means disk is made by number of concentric rings. Now, to find out the expression for moment of inertia of the disk, for that purpose, we first draw the diagrams like this. Here, the disk is in XY plane and axis is along the Z axis. The origin of the XYZ coordinate system is exactly at the center of the disk, that is O point. Here, O is the center of the disk, and its own axis is perpendicular to plane. perpendicular to planes. About that axis the disc can be rotated. The disc is made by the number of rings. One of the ring is here. One of the ring is given here. This is one of the ring whose thickness or whose width is dr, radius is small r, here given, and from this diagrams we can explain it. Explanations of it is: consider a thin uniform disk of mass capital M and radius capital R, be rotate about its own axis. That own axis is perpendicular to plane and passing through the center of the disk. Assume that disk is made by number of concentric rings which changes the radius from 0 to capital R. Consider one of the ring as a small element of disk whose mass is dm, radius is small r, and width is dr. This is one of the ring. Therefore, the moment of inertia of this ring is according to this expression, the moment of inertia ring is equal to the product of mass and square of radius of the ring. Here the radius is considered r, small r, and mass is considered is dm. Therefore, the moment of inertia of this ring is equal to r square into dm. This is as a small element. This is considered as a small element of the disk. Hence, the moment of inertia is written by DIOs. This is the small moment of inertia of small element. So write as DIO, and that is equal to r square into dm. R is the radius of the ring, and dm is the mass of the ring. Therefore, the moment of inertia of the disk about its own axis. Now disk is complete body, and ring is this small element we have considered here. Now, therefore, the moment of inertia of such rings which have the radius 0 to capital R considered, and integration of the moment of inertia of such rings together, that is the summation of moment of inertia of all the rings, that is called the integrations of the moment of inertia of the small element we have considered. Therefore, IO is equal to integration of DIO, and that is equal to integration of R square into dm. This is the first equation. These are the explanations of this moment of, to find out the moment of inertia of the disk. Now, fourth point is, let sigma, here sigma, be the surface density. Surface density means mass per unit area of the material of the disk. Mass per unit material of the disk. डिस्क आहे, ते डिस्क ज्या मटेरियलने बनलेलं आहे त्या मटेरियलची सरफेस डेन्सिटी मी कन्सिडर केलं. सरफेस डेन्सिटी. Therefore, surface density is equal to mass upon area. Area of this disk. Disk is circular. Therefore, the area of the circle is equal to pi into r square. Therefore, sigma is equal to m upon pi r square. This is the surface density. Now, the ring, this ring is also made by the same material. Since it is the part of the disk. It is the small element of the disk. Therefore, this ring has also same surface density. The mass of the ring is dm. And surface area of this ring is equal to the circumference into the width of this disk. Circumference into width of the disk. That is twice pi r into dr. Twice pi r, that is length. If we break this, if we break this ring, if we break this ring and take its along the length, that is the rectangle, that is length into width, length into width. Therefore, length is twice pi r and width is dr. Therefore, its surface area of this ring is twice pi r into dr. This is the surface density of the ring. And surface density of disk and ring are same since both are the same materials. Therefore, sigma is equal to m upon pi r square. That is equal to dm upon twice pi r into dr. From this expression, the mass of the ring can be calculated or can be find out by using this formula. Dm is equal to twice pi r into sigma into dr. Twice pi r dr taken toward the sides, that is twice pi r into sigma into dr, that is the mass of the ring, that is the mass of the ring. Substitute sigma as m upon pi r square. Here we get pi get cancelled, therefore this expression, the expression for the mass of the ring dm is equal to twice r into capital M upon r square into small into dr, into dr. This is the expression for the mass of the ring from the we considering surface density. Substitute this dm in equation first, we get integration, we get the moment of inertia of the disk is equal to integration of r square into twice r into capital M upon r square into dr. This is the mass of the ring, and therefore that is equal to mass of the disk capital M, that is the mass of the disk that never be changed. Also its radius r cannot be changed, therefore M upon r square and 2 is taken outside of these integrations. This small r square and this small r, that is r cube into dr into dr. This is inside the integrations. Here the integrations have the limits from 0 to capital R. That is why the ring has, this disk is consist by the number of rings. The rings have the radius from 0, changes from 0 to capital R. 0 to capital R. So here we take the integrations limit from 0 to capital R. 0 to capital R. Therefore, the moment of inertia of the disk is equal to, by taking integrations, twice m upon r square into integrations r cube. So integrations r, the integrations of r cube with respect to dr is r raised to 4 upon 4. This is the integrations of r cube with respect to dr. And here the 0 and r is the limit of changing the radius of the ring. Lowest limit is 0 and highest limit is r. Therefore, that is equal to twice m upon capital R square into bracket. Instead of small r, we write the upper limit capital R, that is capital R raised to 4 upon 4 minus, substitute instead of r as a lower limit 0. That means 0 raised to 4 upon 4, that is 0 here. Therefore, the moment of inertia of the disk about the given axis, about its own axis, is equal to twice m r raised to 4 upon 4 r square. R square, the r square in denominator and r square in numerator can be cancelled out. 2, 1 the 2, 2 to the 4. Therefore, the moment of inertia of thin uniform disk about its own axis is equal to mr square by 2. This is the expression for the moment of inertia of thin uniform disk. This is the expression for moment of inertia of thin uniform disk. Now, there will be another concept, radius of gyration. Radius of gyration. Radius of gyrations. The moment of inertia of an object depends upon the mass of that object and distribution of the mass around the given axis of rotation. Given axis of rotation. The moment of inertia of object can be calculated theoretically only for those objects whose distribution of mass can be measured, like we have already seen here. The mass distributions dm can be find out by considering the surface density of the disk, like this. That is, the distribution of mass and moment of inertia can be calculated by using the integrations here only for those objects whose mass distributions can be find out. Also, mass distribution can be find out also by integrations. We can find out the moment of inertia only for the regular shapes or which have the geometrical shapes whose mass distributions can be find out and its integration can be taken. But for irregular shapes, or for any shape, we cannot find out its moment of inertia directly by mathematical methods, but its moment of inertia can be find out by using experimental methods. That means by experimental methods, we can determine the moment of inertia of any body, the body which have any shape, irregular shapes. But by using mathematical methods, we can determine only the body which have the geometrical shapes. That means like ring, disc, hollow or solid cylinder, hollow or solid sphere, rod, etc. That means regular shape, geometrical shapes, conical shapes, etc. Like this. But the moment of inertia of any shape cannot be found out by using mathematical methods. For that purpose, we must be used experimental method. To know the distribution of the mass about the given axis of rotation of any body, the moment of inertia can be expressed as the moment of inertia can be expressed as I is equal to mk square. I is equal to mk square, where m is the mass of the body and k is the radius of gyration. Here, this is the rigid body of any shape. The moment of inertia of this such body cannot be found out by using mathematical methods. That is, I is equal to integrations of r square into dm. By using that formula cannot be found out, since its mass distributions cannot be equally distributed about the axis of rotations, and integration cannot be taken of that small elements. Integration cannot be taken of the moment of inertia of that small element. So the moment of inertia of such a body can be found out experimentally, and that can be expressed by using the formula I is equal to mk square, where m is the mass of the rigid body of any shape and k is the radius of gyrations. Now, what do you mean by k? Here, instead of this rigid body which have the mass capital M, we assume a single particles having the same mass as that of the rigid body shown in this figure. M is the mass of the rigid body and k is the radius of gyration. So its moment of inertia is same as that of the body. If the moment of inertia of this body is I, rigid body is I. If the moment of inertia of this body is I, this moment of inertia and moment of inertia of the single particles which have the same mass as that of the rigid body are same. That means this I is equal to mk square, this moment of inertia and the moment of inertia of this body about this given axis are same. Then k is called the radius of gyration. then K is called the radius of gyrations of this rigid body about this given axis of rotation. Its definition is here. The radius of gyration can be defined as the distance from the axis of rotation, to the point, where the total mass of the body is supposed to be concentrated, so as to possesses the same moment of inertia as that of the body about the given axis of rotation. That is called the radius of gyration. SI unit or unit of radius of gyration in SI system, unit of radius of gyration is meter, since it is distance. So its SI unit is meter and CGS unit is centimeter. Its dimension is L raised to 1, M raised to 0, T raised to 0. The radius of gyration gives the idea about the distribution of mass about the axis of rotation. That means how far the mass can be distributed about the axis of rotation. If the value of K is larger, the mass distributions is further away from the axis of rotations. जर K ची व्हॅल्यू जर जास्त असेल, तर याचा अर्थ असा की ही जी बॉडी आहे, या बॉडीचं मास जे आहे ते मास या ऍक्सिस पासून जास्त लांबपर्यंत पसरलेलं असेल. म्हणजेच the radius of gyrations gives the idea about the distribution of the mass about the axis of rotation. This is the physical significance of radius of gyration. The radius of gyrations is depends upon the shape. If the shape changes, radius of gyrations also changes. Also, it depends upon the axis of rotation. For different axis of rotations, the radius of gyration is different. Remember this thing. I can explain. The radius of gyrations depends upon the shape. From these examples, we have already seen that the moment of inertia of the ring is mr square and moment of inertia of the disk is half mr square. If ring and disk both have the same mass, and same radius, in that case, the moment of inertia of the ring is mr square and moment of inertia of the disk is mr square by 2. That means here the radius of gyrations I is equal to mk square. Therefore, mk square, from these expressions, kr is the radius of gyrations for the rings and kd is the radius of gyration of the disk. Therefore, from these equations, kr is equal to capital R and kd is equal to r upon square root of 2. From these two equations, it is clear that the radius of gyration is larger for the ring, and radius of gyration of the disk is smaller as compared to radius of gyration of the disk. Therefore, from this it is clear that the mass distribution is widely larger for the rings than the disk. Thus, from this we conclude that the radius of gyration depends upon the shape, also depends upon the positions of the center of axis of rotations. On these factors, the radius of gyration depends Remember these things. Thank you for watching the video. If we like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and press bell icon buttons for the notification of next video. Also give the comments on the comment box. Thank you again for watching the video.